It's Trip Kramer here from tripadvice.com, dating coach for shy men, the place to get dating advice. And so I'm here to help you. And today we're talking about how to start a conversation, how to chat with a girl who you've never met before. And I know that there's a lot of you who see girls around in various different places that want to learn how to get going with conversation. So we're going to talk about that today. Now, real quick, if you have not subscribed to the channel, you are missing out. And if you're not getting the notifications by hitting that little bell next to the subscribe button, you're also missing out, because I got videos coming out all the time and you need to get notified. So press the subscribe button right now. Let's see it. If there's fear around starting a conversation with a girl that you never talked to before, I have a video for that, which I'll put in the description below, but we're not going to talk about how to get over the fear. I'm going to assume at this point in this video that you already have the courage to go up and talk to a girl, and we're going to get more technical in terms of what happens when you finally do go and approach. But even if you are scared, still stick around, because the information of knowing what to do sometimes is one of the biggest factors in getting rid of the fear, because there's a fear of the unknown. You're scared to do something because you don't know how to do it. This video, we're going to teach you how to do it. Just now arrived to the village of Ella in Sri Lanka and took what is known as the most beautiful train ride in the world that goes all the way from Kandy to Ella. And we didn't actually come from Kandy though, because we stopped somewhere else in Nuwara Eliya and took the train ride from Nuwara Eliya all the way to here in Ella, and it was amazing. Talking to a girl, chatting with a girl that you've never met before. How do you start this off? Well, I want to give you the 3 E's to start this off so you can remember it. That's energy, eye contact, and enthusiasm. These are some things that you want to have going into the conversation and lasting throughout the conversation, generally speaking. So eye contact, obviously, that is looking someone in the eyes, helps make it easier to connect with someone. Then you have energy. You want to go in with some energy. If you go in and you're not looking at the girl and you're kind of looking down and your voice kind of sounds like this and they can barely hear you and there's no energy or enthusiasm, because when people are getting approached, they don't want to be approached by someone who's going to be like looking like this and just totally out of it. They want someone who's there, who's present, who's energetic, who is really making a presence in front of them. The girl wants to be able to feel your energy, so you need to go in there with some oomph and make sure while doing that you have that eye contact. But here's the thing, I don't want you to have energy necessarily the whole time. I don't mean that when you go in with energy and excitement you need to be like, hey, what's going on, and be really like off the walls for an entire conversation. No, you end up going with the flow. The energy kind of dips, comes back up, it dips again, right? So you want to kind of go throughout this whole energy wave with the girl that you're talking to, but at least in the very beginning have that energy higher, just at least just a little bit higher than hers. Okay, so you get the eye contact, you get the energy, you get the enthusiasm. That starts to make sense to you now? Good. What's next? What do you say? Well, lucky for you, I have Chick Crack, the topics of conversation that women love to talk about. So just get that in the description below, and then you'll know exactly what to say, and that'll be one of the basis of conversation when you were finally talking to a girl and start a conversation with her. How do you keep the conversation going? Okay, I teach this in a lot of my videos, but you might be here for the first time. You might not even know who I am. By the way, I'm Trip. Nice to meet you. So how do you keep a conversation going? Here's a little trick, okay? When you listen to whoever you're talking to, there's always going to be a word that they're going to be saying that you can basically take and extract. I call this an extraction process. And then take that word and then use that word as the basis for what you're going to say next, whether that be a question or a statement. I'll give you an example. Let's say that she said that she went to school in Arkansas. Well, your keyword there is Arkansas. Doesn't matter if you know anything about Arkansas. If you've been there, if you haven't been there, all you got to do is extract the word and say a statement or a question. So Arkansas, if I heard that, I would say, Arkansas, never been there before. What's that like? Maybe she says to you, I'm about to meet up with my mom in just a minute. Then your word there is mom. What can you say about mom? Now you can ask her a question and maybe ask her about her mom, but that's kind of a little weird if you first meet a girl. So maybe you say something about your mom. Or maybe you say, oh, I was just talking to my mom the other day and we were talking about blah, 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 blah. Again, it doesn't have to connect with what she's saying. The only connector there is the actual word that you're extracting, okay? So I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna keep moving on with this. I have another whole video on how to do this. I'm gonna put that in the description below and it explains this in great detail. All right, the sun has gone down here and we're in TripAdvice night mode. And I want to touch more upon this topic of what to do when you're chatting with a girl that you have never met before, but you're obviously interested in. Well, there's this idea that I talk about in my program Hooked, which you can check out in the description below at getherhooked.com. And it's the concept of entertainment. It's the idea of going into an interaction, making it fun for you. Saying jokes that are funny to you. I know I said in a video recently, don't try too hard to make a girl laugh, but what I was saying is don't try to be funny just to be funny, to try to get her to laugh because you know that's something you should do. It's more powerful if you're doing something that makes you laugh, that's funny for you. So think about what you could do in an interaction that's funny, that's interesting, that makes you have a good time. So I'll give you an example, something that I do, I mean, not all the time, but once in a while that I just think is funny, because it's funny to me, is when I'm talking to someone and they're saying something that they're really interested in or really excited about, and I go, yeah, right? And that's maybe not funny right now or funny to you, but that's funny to me in that situation. And it's just kind of funny because it's kind of teasing them because they're getting so excited and you're just like, wow, So what is it that makes you laugh? And what is it that you want to talk about? Seriously, I know this seems almost too simple, like really just go into a conversation, talk about whatever I want that's interesting to me and that's going to work. It's not necessarily the stuff that you're saying that's going to work there, but it's more the vibe that you're putting out. It's a very confident vibe when you go in there not really caring about what you're trying to get from them, because that's what guys are mostly doing. They're going into conversations with girls trying to get something from them, but instead you're going in there trying to do something for you, and that translates as confident and fun and independent, and as a guy who is really doing his own thing with his own life. I know, it sounds kind of crazy, all that in one, but trust me, that's what's going on here. I'd say that this vlog was pretty jam-packed with a lot of practical stuff here. Don't you agree? I think so. And what I want you to do next is I want you to comment down below and I want you to write, what are you going to work on next? So I said a lot of different things here. Say one thing that you're going to take, one thing that you're going to do, and what are you going to implement next? Write that down below. Don't forget, there's a bunch of links in the description to get chick cracked, to get my program hooked, and to learn more about this whole concept of continuing a conversation. All that stuff in the description. Peace out. See you tomorrow. We're going to keep on going with this daily freaking vlog.